Good evening, everyone. Switch Double here. And, well, it's as usual. New week, new surprises waiting us for us for this week. Oh, man. What a day. Well, today actually hasn't been much eventful for me, though, personally. It's just mostly relaxing. And I'm waiting for a few people that might actually join in. Malakat is one of the people that is one of the people that was going to join in. Um, Game Guy is unfortunately not joining in since he said earlier that he had a rough morning, so he won't be able to join in, which is understandable. Um, well, not certain if Kovo would join in, but who else other from Malachite to join in? Well, I have two friends who's actually twin brothers. And one of them said that he would be here, and he did ask me if I would do the stream today, and he would join in. So I did send him the link. So just for seeing if he will be able to join in or not. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if one of the twin brothers are finally be able to join in. The reason why the twins haven't been in my stream lately is because they've been working a lot. Since they're actually working in a factory, so yeah, so they haven't been unable to join in. Not even in the weekends. Maybe they had to something else, but now that they are both working in a factory, it's something interesting to see how they would be. Um, I mean, personally, I don't know many twins of other people. Only these two guys are the only twins that I know of. Cupcake the Fox. Hello. So yeah, the twin brothers, so at least one of them might actually join in. It just uh, I don't know when. Even though I did send him a link, he did ask me yesterday if I was gonna do stream today, but he hasn't even been online since yesterday. So yeah, and we have at least this knucklehead. Yeah, it's a bit rough that Game Guy can't even join in since he had a rough morning. Makes sense. And Kuvo, I don't know since he is not even online on Discord. Hayden isn't online. Lord, well, that's another thing. We haven't seen Lord in my streams in uh, a while now. Cody had even, but some of the people that did show up, like last year, both apart. Oh, um, he may actually have some connection problem there. But some of the people that we haven't seen in a while is Stormy and Taylor. Screaming Merlin, I believe his username was. Um, Taylor, well, he was moving around a lot from his due to his parents, um, and he was also in his senior year of high school, so that takes a lot of more focus on. So, same as for Stormy, he was also in high school late school. I don't remember exactly precise uh, grade that he was in, but he was in high school. So Stormy hasn't even been around for months. Hayden, he hasn't even either had been in my stream for a while now. So many of my friends had who have been in my stream for the past few years, hasn't even been around much since either school, work, or they just didn't even want to be in my streams anymore. That's of course up to any individual person if they want to be in the streams. Um, but I wish that we could have Lord back in the stream now and then, because having a Scottish person in there is always fun. It is. But it just it's just how some things are. I know that many of my friends are working and or in school like that. But I like to like Game Guy, Malachi. They don't even have school anymore because they're like in their 20s and don't even have work. But yeah, it is life as it is. Personally, I don't go to school anymore unless you don't count the school of life, which meaning learning new stuff all the time. Yeah, I thought that was the problem, Malachi. I thought that was the problem. I mean, you weren't even talking at all, and then suddenly you just gone. But computer technology isn't great. Yeah, don't we have? I haven't seen. Uh, I don't know who was the one of the twin brothers that asked me if I was going to stream today. If it was RoboGamer or Godzilla 2000. Since no clue, no clue. I mean, they don't even use those names on Facebook. Also, I wouldn't even tell. I mean, they're like, I believe that they are identical twins. So who knows? But but other than that, I don't see any other joining and so far. Like I mentioned earlier, just when you before you left or just vanished. Some of our friends hadn't even been in my stream for a while. You know, like Stormy, Taylor, Hayden. Stormy hadn't even been here for a while.
Dashy.
Actually, yeah. There is someone else here. It's none other that we haven't talked to before, I believe. It's Cupcake the Fox. And let me see.
What?
Yeah, there was someone in the comments that said hi, and it's the same individual, and I can't see their like the actual name, but let's see who it is. Taken. Um, sorry about that. Still recovering from a cold. Well, guy, your computer needs really. Sorry.
Mm,
Yeah, that's
mm,
yeah, his computer is a little bit pain. It's not the first time it happens for us.
mm.
Computer being a jerk for you, Malachi?
Yes, and that's a straight stuff. I'm seriously gonna kick it. And it's microchips.
Well, that's just. I mean, it is sometimes how that is. Technology is always like this. I mean, remember Kubo at one point had a problem with his mic. It was either how was it like the volume was even quality that was in, or at least in my case, that his mic wasn't even working, and and even even I had a problem at one point where my old mic wasn't even working, and or at least it was either lagging, like my speaking can be in just I could be talking like normal, and I could be talking, and then like skipping out a few words like that, or the or the quality of the volume was getting low. So I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And that microphone or the headset at the time wasn't even that old. I had only been using it for maybe part of a year. other other headsets that I had, they were around, did last much longer. But luckily for me, my dad who bought that headset for me, he bought two. One as an extra just in case if the first one would be uh, falling apart. But it wasn't only the mic. The mic itself was the only thing that was, well, started malfunctioning. But the actual headset, like the I can use listen to music, they were still working perfectly. So I used the backup headset or microphone that I had, and it worked for I think maybe another for another year or so, maybe two, until they started being unfortunately getting out. But sometimes technology or some electronics don't usually aren't meant to last forever. Luckily for this headset, I've been using those for this one for about not even a year. But it works at least though. But if this headset will also start to failing, I might be able to use an old mic that I headset or microphone that I had. But I can say one thing: it wouldn't guarantee that one would even be good, since I'm still using that microphone when I'm making audio stories, not this one. I tried using this new microphone to use audio storage, but when I listened afterwards, the sound quality was not the same. So yeah, that was a big bummer. But but other than that, it's oh, bye cupcake. Yeah, so that was a bit of bummer, but it's just how the things are. I tried to list and it was almost like you can just order new ones stuff online these days. Yeah, I mean I can, but the thing is, I had never ordered anything online, like nothing before. It's not like there's a whole new thing to do. It's just, I mean, in order to do so, I may have to learn about it eventually at some point and be able to pay things for online. I don't know how it works. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what to say about much of that type of things, but luckily this headset are no problem with. Same thing for my webcam, which is a portable one, which means I can disconnect it to my computer at any time. And I don't even I have been using it for maybe maybe 3, 4 years now, and it still works. I mean, I don't even use it like daily basis. Only if I want to uh, video call with my girlfriend or like that. So, but it's not that often we can do that. She usually can only do it like in the summer when she can just step outside, or if there's in the or she can only use her mom's bedroom for a while, but her brother in the same room as her in the living room. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem though, especially if her brother is playing games. That might actually be a little bit tricky for her to be able to talking in the camera, and if her brother is in the background screaming. Man, that's just yeah. I know for a fact that having a sibling or even a relative that or a family member in the same room talking and or screaming, they're like watching a game or playing a game. Yeah, people can be like that. So it's understanding that if she just wants to step out a different place or different room for a while. But where you live in the house or trailer or whatever, or do you have your own room, right?
Yeah.
What about your uncle and your mom? Do they have it the same, or do they,
Mm-mm. My mom does. My uncle usually sleeps on a chair in the living room.
or even on the couch?
Mm,
Do you have do you have a basement by any chance of that?
no.
Huh, that's weird. Oh
Which
right.
means which means one particular thing. If a tornado hits where I am, I we are fucked.
Well, I mean, your house or your living isn't an actual house. It's more like a trailer that has just been parked there, right?
Yeah.
It's actually the same thing as for Figot's home. It's also a trailer that he lives, and she has a basement, but the basement was built after before the trailer, so she can just go down there. But it is not like that they can be staying there because it's it can get them protection from this tornadoes or anything, but it can easily be flooded. Yeah, so and for my parents, if they like in the house where they're living, that's another thing. They don't even have a basement. None of the houses that in the neighborhood has a basement, but there is at least one house in that neighborhood that is which is has doors like almost like a kind of like a blasting doors, and because it's like a bomb shelter. And another house up just a bit above that where my parents live also have that type of doors of their garage. But yeah, the, that neighborhood that I used to live in, boy, I don't tell you, it was a complete weird. There's like most of the houses had a carport, or at least an open carport, but not really like an actual garage. There were like actually only two. There was only like two set of buildings. Well, that's it. Two set of houses that actually had its own carport, like garage. But there's two others that is under one house, but they had been paid separate. Like you had to pay extra for those, and I was like, what the, why? And actually, there is one house in that neighborhood that actually has a basement, but it is not literally part of that because that neighborhood is owned by a company, except for one of the houses that's privately owned. But living in that place, it's well, it's pretty calm, except there's only like it was something like a year ago before I had even moved here. There was this couple, or not couple, but this mom and her son that had moved in one of those one floor house. Yeah, let's say that it wasn't even funny at all. I mean, in the beginning, it seems to be he was like in his uh, early to mid 20s, something like that. And the thing is, he had a license for car. She didn't. And at first, it seems to be going well, but that was only the beginning. He started using his own car because suddenly, some days we can even could hear a loud speaker in a car just loudly booming as they was driving in the neighborhood. And even when he parked his car, he didn't turn off the radio or anything, or even lower the music. He still have a really is such booming volume. It was insane. And this was like could have been like in early afternoon, sometimes sometimes in between the evenings, like say I don't know 6 or 7 p.m. or something like that. And I was like, this is just crazy. It is one of those craziest neighbors. But that is not the only thing he did. He did every time when his mom wanted to buy some cigarettes, they drove up into downtown, like driving less than 1 kilometer up just because of buying, because there even was a small convenience store not far from where they live. It takes maybe just 5 to 10 minutes walk. Let's maybe just 10 minutes walk from the house to the convenience store and back. They could just simply walk there. But no, she want to go up the town to the biggest stores to buy cigarettes. And the fact is, this guy, her son, he was a complete idiot. So many times that he played his music, despite being told multiple times from other people in the neighborhood not to do it. But did he listen? No, not at all. And I mean, it was just, I mean, this could have been happening like in the early noon or around the early afternoon. Like, I can't really say, I can't be sitting by the computer and want to start to do a recording a story or something, and then doo 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 in the background. It's like, that's just like many people lost their minds. But there was at least one time when my mom was going to drive me to the bowling. The thing is, he had parked his car almost in the middle of the on the street up or in the middle of the road. And he was even, and the thing is, he was standing on the other side of the car with that door open, and another that, and his own door, the driving door, was also open. And there was really not enough space for our car to passing by that car, his car, and the wall of the house. It was like maybe listen, I don't know. Okay, I can say it maybe less than perhaps 10, maybe 20 inches a distance away from my side door to the car door. And it was just really, and the thing is, he saw this happen. It's not that we were about to drive out. Normally, a person would quickly go around the car, close the door, and go back. But he just stood there glaring at us, like, and we were just like, my mom wanted to just open the door, her door, and scream it out. But what point that was going to go for? So she didn't. And eventually, even before this guy, he even lost his license for about uh, 3 months. And when you have no license, you're not even allowed to drive a car regardless. Not even your own, not even your parents' car, your neighbors, your friends, no one's. But he'd still drive the car, and the fact that his mother made him drive the car so that she can go up to the one of the big stores, buy some cigarettes, despite that it was not even allowed for them. And even though my mom had told her, his mom had about it a few times, like, but it seems, well, she didn't even care much about it. And but the most of the stupidest thing that he did, he parked um, like a mobile home, but like a caravan outside under the small grass patch next to their house, which they have all legal right to do. But this caravan, boy, even if you did see it and you there were some writings on it, but you wouldn't even understand a single word what it said. But it was basically the janitor mentioned the word for female janitor, uh, genitals, and a male part on it, and there was many other nasty ride uh, figures and all that's on the outside. And from what I heard, from the inside wasn't even like livable. It was like some mold in that caravan. And despite that, the fact that the mother was aware of that her son was placing this caravan there, and the fact that there are many children living that in that neighborhood and still do. And in fact, that many families and their parents could have reached out to the company and for the person who is assigned, who's like a caretaker for the area. They called them, and especially my own mom, they also called out for that, and they gave the mother a warning. First, a strict phone call warning to have it moved. But if it is moved, they will give them a real warning, which they eventually did, and it still didn't even move it. And after another grid of warning, they told, if it didn't happen moved within the next that Monday, we will have it removed for you. And well, before that, when the Monday, just even before Monday even came, the caravan was gone. They moved it, and I think that was probably the best because there were a few kids in that neighborhood that was below. There was only some that was maybe as 10 years old, others was younger than had even started school yet. But as soon as they started school and they started to learn how to read, after seeing this caravan with those words on it, and they start to learn and saying those words at home, yeah, especially young kids who's in elementary, who is just starting to learn to read, and those words are not supposed to be in a. It's not a good. It's not good for kids to read. But eventually, the caravan was moved, and we thought that that was at least that piece was gone. So there were once again peace in the neighborhood. Well, for a while at least, and especially when he did had a license for a while, at least some of his driving was also a bit calm. But that was only for sure, only a few months, but at least a few months of peace. But his friends started to show up and started burning and driving crazy out in and out in that neighborhood. That's like, really? Are they supposed to start doing that as well? And that is just crazy. And some of the most craziest on that the fact that I heard that this guy, when he had a girlfriend over, he kicked out of his mom from her own bed so that he and his girlfriend can sleep on the bed so that his mom can sleep on the couch. every single time. What kind of parent, or what is what kind of teenage young man does that? And even though,
A really stupid one.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand if there was this, if they could have asked him, I mean, they could have probably asked his mother to, maybe if she can go out, maybe see some friends for a night, or maybe stay out for a few hours or something. But no, it's just how strange and most stupid the reason is. I mean, this guy, he really thought that he could just do much of what he wanted. Ain't not that. He bought one car, sold it, bought a new car, sold it, bought a new car. I mean, as long as I lived there before when I moved, he probably bought 3 or 4 new cars, like not like a brand new, but used cars, like 3 to 4 used cars during the time I was still living and before I moved out. And the fact is, he doesn't even have a work. Buying a used car is certain for the price that you're buying it from. And you may never actually getting the same price for the car if you're selling it again for, and you even ask for the same price, maybe. But you can't be asking for maybe say if one car costs say in Swedish currency for a brand new car can cost from well, it depends what it is, but say from around 300 to maybe 500,000. Now, if you have a used car, if the model is a few years old, like say buying a car from the early 2000s, you're not expecting that getting a car that much in value. Now, so this guy, he literally bought 3 to 4 used cars and sold them each time when he want to buy a new car. And I mean, even when he had one car, he even had a license. I mean, his license also was provoked, uh, was revoked for 3 months, and he was still allowed to, and he still drove his car despite that. And it was, I mean, even I was in my late, I was, even though I am in my mid 30s, at least I know for a fact that is insane. Oh, hi, Athena. Yeah, it's just me and Malachite here. Police. There was another one here earlier, but the person left. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, this guy, he is in his. I don't know for a fact. I don't think he was in his. Uh, I believe he was between 20 to 24 years old, and even though he doesn't even work, I mean, unless that he gets some money, financial support from his father, from his mother, from something like that. And I understand why. And it's like my mom, it's like my parents' next door neighbor. She has a car, but she doesn't even drive it to work because she doesn't even need that. Because her work isn't even that far. It's just across the main road. It can take her just about maybe 10 to 15 minutes just by walk. So she has no problem with that. But she used her car to, well, go to see her parents or see an old friend of hers, or even, but she used to have 4 dogs. But now she has at least 2 of them. Oh, get this. This happened before I moved out from my parents' house uh, a couple of months ago. Um, the fact, what happened, and this is something that happened to my family dog twice. The first time, I wasn't even with my mom when what happened. This was about when our family dog was about 7 to 8 weeks old. She left the house just to take for a walk, not for a long walk, because they aren't even allowed for such long walks until they're a little bit older. But anyways, she just so had left, and she was about to go out for the corner. She passed a few houses, and she was about to pass this big hedge, or this hedge. This hedge is really tall. I have to say at least not 6 feet, way much more than that. I believe maybe 10 feet at least. And as she was about to walk across it, boom! A dog runs out the house and is about to attack my family's dog. But my mom managed to pick him up, and this dog wasn't even giving up. He tried to just jump up and biting our family dog over and over. But eventually, the owner, at least the two of the owners, the woman, she says that that dog doesn't do anything. It is an angel. But the husband, every time when my mom or every time when anyone says like this about the dog, he is not furious. He is not even, he isn't making a sweet talk about it. He look ashamed. And it turns out it has not only happened once, not twice, but at least a few times for other people. But the second time when it happened to our dog again, this was only like a few months ago. That was like way before I moved out. Me and my mom, we were decided to just take the dog out for a walk. This was in like early afternoon, and we walked the same way that she used. And I mean, even though I could hear something from behind the hedge, there was this not like a rustling, but it was like a fast running. And this, I saw this. I think it was if I remember, it was not a bulldog. I think it was a pit bull. If I remember, if there was a right breed. Just to be safe, I believe it's a pit bull because there are like thousands of dog breeds out there in the world, so I can't even keep a track on all of them. But I saw this pit bull running. This hedge wasn't even that thick. There were some patches that were small openings that you could see through, and I saw that something white, fast running. And as we was about to end around the corner, this hedge wasn't even growing around like along the board, like the borders of the property. There's only one side. But my mom managed to pick him up, and he weighs right now at least let's see here. At the time when my mom managed to pick him up for that when he was about 7 to 8 weeks old, he weighed much less. But now he weighs about 17 to 18 pounds. She can't even carry him for that long because it's a pretty much weight for a dog. But she managed to pick him up, and that same husband of the one of the owners, he came out yelling, not my mom, not our dog, but his dog to get inside. He apologized. So that was just, and I was there, and I mean, how would anyone? Is I mean, like if this dog, if the owner hasn't even came out, and if this dog would have continued to jump on against my mom to get the hands on our dog or try to biting her, some people may have gone so far to reason um, to. I mean, if there was some people would have gone so far by kicking away the dog, even if it was on the in the stomach. Some might have even it went so, might have gone so far by kicking it in his face. And some people who are doing that, something that is justified, but something it may have been that might actually be too far. Some people like your mom could just have run away home with the dog. Well, consider like I said, the dog weighs about 17 to 18 pounds. My mom is in her nearly 60. She can't run that fast. And since this is a pit bull, and the pit bull was not even giving up that easily. So she just simply would have not been getting away from the dog at all. And I really thought that if I was even there, who knows what's happened. And if the owner hasn't even coming out or had heard what this was going on, but just ignored it, I don't know what had happened. Our dog could have been killed. But if I was even there and the owner, all of them, both of them, ignored what happened, would I go as far to protecting not only the dog, my dog, our family dog, and my mom? Well, I mean, would I try to use force, violence? Yes and no. Violence, not really. But force, well, I mean, I would try to. If this dog has a collar, so I would just grab my hand around the collar and force it off, or at least force the dog away by holding in the collar. Even if it meant the collar could have been, almost strangled the dog in its own death sense. But what should I even do? I can even just start kicking the dog to get away from us. That doesn't sometimes it doesn't do much working. Because if the owner sees me kicking their dog, they will probably start accusing me for violent animal abuse. And that is the last thing anyone even want to do. So, what would be the best? Start screaming at the dog who's just getting away from us? No. I don't think that is either the best. Because it just scream at the dog may actually make it more furious. And people are sometimes used as combat dogs. Or at least fighting dogs, and it's nothing that you want to do. But even if the dog manages to bite me, fine. Bite me as much as you want, but as long as you don't bite my mom or a family dog, even if they bite my arm badly or in my legs, fine. I can live with some scars on my arm or legs, something like that. But as long as it doesn't hurt my mom or my family dog, that's it. Even if it meant that if the dog would kill me, so be it. As long as as long as my mom might be able getting away from this, managed to get home as fast as she could with the dog, with her, and as long as the dog attacking me instead, if it meant if I ended up being dead or just only severe bites, well, if that happens, the dog will eventually have to be put down because there isn't even allowed having a dog that would eventually attack people like that. It isn't. It's just how it is. But luckily, and even our next door neighbor, my parents' next door neighbor also had run into this dog a few times. And another couple, an older couple, would had at least a time two dogs, but now only only one dog. They also had run into this pit bull, but that is not a. But there were actually even a few other. They were only a couple of streets away from that. There was another issue that happened. There were these two Rottweilers. They also attacked some people, And they also had getting a strict warnings a few times. I heard something at this one of the Rottweilers jump over the fence and attacked a mother who was pushing her this stroller with her baby or her toddler in it. I don't think the toddler was even hurt or anything, but it, it's freaky that had happened. I mean, can you even imagine, like seeing a toddler can be from maybe just 1 or 2, a few years old, laying there in a stroller, asleep, or somebody being woken up on this loud barking and the mother screaming for getting away from them. Yeah, so and even though um, I haven't been beaten by a dog once, but this was like, I was like maybe 5, 6 years old, and you may think, oh, it was like in the arm or in the leg or anything. Nope, it was right in between my eyes. The dog literally was biting me right in between my eyes, like right between. And this was like it was a big dog. The kind of looks like a black Labrador. But normally, if people are getting bite a dog like that, they'd probably like scared. But me, no, not really. I wasn't even scared. But but that was my grandfather's dog. But it turned out the dog was sick, so they had to put it down. Though my aunt had 2 dogs at one point, many years ago. One was a golden retriever, and I don't say though, he was an absolute teddy bear. I mean, he was the most amazing dog ever. Every time when we got to their place, he always showed up by the front door with a shoe in his mouth, and it was just hilarious. He was fun. They had another smaller dog, um, but he was a mix. But if I remember, at least one of them was, I believe it was uh, Japanese spats, spectacle or like that. But it wasn't like white, but it's more like, see, what color would it be? Not chocolate brown, like light brown or something like that, like almost like a lion mane colored. And he was really trustworthy when if you had him on leash, he obeyed you no matter what. But he didn't like kids as much. Well, turns out my aunt's foster son, many years earlier, had taken a big tree branch and bang, bang in the dog's head repeatedly. And he was, I mean, this dog was the one he was taking that he was doomed to by smashing that tree branch in his head. The dog wasn't even that big. Maybe maybe just a slight bigger than maybe just a slight bigger than maybe the double the size of a house cat. Like almost like say maybe as big as a uh, as a how to say not a raccoon, but maybe big as a almost like a koala, but maybe maybe a half sounds bigger than a koala. And he smashes that tree branch in that dog few times. And I understanding that that dog hated. kids ever since. But the thing, if he was sitting in, because I actually remember one time my aunt and her family came by many years ago to a camping site, and he was sitting there without a lease inside a small tent that he had for their cabin, and I was like, he was just sitting there, not normal, and I was like, I walked up to him and was like, Paul, and he put his paw in my hand and a shake. He normally hates kids, but he can't behave as much as long as they don't show any provocation, like provoking him. And wow, okay, I thought you would even show up here, game guy. Uh, no, you're not really late. Yeah, we're just going off for less than an hour. But yeah, that family dog to my aunt, he unfortunately passed away from old age. I think it was what 16, 17 years old, like that. I believe it was between 14 and 16 years old, and that's amazing. But the world record for a dog is 29, and that was a Australian Shepherd, if I think it is. The world record for a cat is 38. Or is it? Let's see. Let's see. That cat's name is Cream Puff. Yeah, it's Cream Puff is an unusual name for a cat. Let's see. Yep, he was 38. And here's the small funny part. The cat was a tabby, and tabby lives normally 15 years. But this one passed that for many years. But this was a mix. So game guy, how's your family pets doing? Okay, it seems his mic is not working. Malika, the dog you had, how old was he when he passed?
He was 9.
Only 9? Uh, what was the kind of what kind of dog was it?
He was Jack Russell Boxer mix.
Jack Russell. Oh yeah, that's
Jack Russell Boxer mix.
hmm, that's Jack Russell don't usually live. Here we go. They usually live around 13 to 16 years.
He probably would have lived that long, but he had pneumonia.
And that was a boxer. I mean
He was
mix.
part he was part boxer because of the solid muscle.
And they live for between 10 to 12 years. But even though that they live that long, it sometimes even though they say the lifespan say from between 10 to 12, it not necessarily mean that they've even lived that just that length. They can live perhaps if they get the good exercise, good health, maintain everything, they can perhaps live maybe perhaps 1 or 2 more years more than that. I mean, it's like say as the world's longest dog. You see, oldest dog was named Bobby. He let's see here. Actually, no, the dog was there was another one that Bobby was claimed that they've been 31 years old, but veterinarians have been, unfortunately, it's not that, but the one who lived longest was named Bluey. He was an Australian cattle dog. Excuse here, what did lifespan is. I mean, if there's like that, let's see. They live only for between 13 to 15 years, and this one was able to live to 29 years. So that is a quite of an impressive length. I mean, if they normally live between 10 to 15 years, and it surpassed that by living 29. So it's just like any animal can live for many years. Certain animals can live decades, much longer. Of course, there are some animals in the world, like say birds. There are some parrot species that can live from 70 to even perhaps as 90 years. I mean, there's even one parrot from England that is like 114 years old. So why not all about say? I mean, as for humans, even though average lifespan in most countries are in the list in the Western world, it's about between 80 to maybe it's 80, 88 years old. But there are many people in the world that lives past 90 and even as past 100. So if humans can live for like 100 years, so why can not even animals like the world's longest dog from normally live for between 10 to 15, but it was 29 when it died. So it should say if animals can live for a certain length, like they have found whales, like old whales with still harpoons in them. As those harpoons can be dated back to as the mid 1800s or even earlier. And so that is just crazy. But I also saw this. Um, okay, have you guys ever heard of, or do you think it's possible for a narwhal and a beluga whale to even have an offspring?
Mm, I'm honestly not sure.
What do you think, guys? Do you think that it's possible for a narwhal and a beluga whale to have a child, or is it an offspring? If you don't know what are actually, you both will be surprised that it is. It is really possible for a narwhal, that the one that had this long tusk in beluga whale. The beluga whale is white, but it's possible to actually happen in the wild, which has happened once so far. And I wasn't even aware of that myself. I saw the fact actually on YouTube this um, a while back, only about 2 days ago, Blink. This woman actually explained that back in 2019, the first confirmed hybrid existed, and now they um, they discovered a narwhal who is living in their sometime had traveled along with a pack leopard of beluga whales from the Atlantic Ocean and along inside inland to US. And now they have reached maturity. So that
Swedish,
it's
there's a
possible.
truck.
Wow, that's impressive.
Incom- incomplete.
Wow, that took a long time. But yeah, so like I said, this narwhal is possible could actually take in one of the beluga whales as a mate. But this is as far as has only been happened once that we know of, and it's very rare. I mean, I wasn't sure exactly how is it a possibility for a narwhal and a beluga whale to have an offspring. But okay, it's like, but it's actually kind of cool to learn that there's possibility. But it's like, what it will how it be like if, say, a chimpanzee or a gorilla have a child with a human, or vice versa? Well, it would have been a hyper concern of that, but it's not like even possible, especially you chimpanzee with a human. Despite they are so closely related, it's not really logistically possible. And every time when scientists going to see a chimpanzee and chimps in the wild, like in rainforest or in a national park, they all have to be wearing face mask always, because the chimps can be very acceptable to our diseases. You know, back in the 1800s, when the stories about this uh, monster primate living in somewhere in Africa, that was referred to the gorillas. I mean, when I first started going to Africa to explore the 1800s, stories about this big black fur monster, like human shape, was they were referring to the gorillas and many other creatures that we also thought that was just only fantastical stories, like the Komodo dragon. That is another of those, because stories about a giant lizard living on an island. No one did even believe in that such stories. After the first examples of those have been taken from the island back to the captive to a zoo. Same thing when it was about the for the panda. The giant panda had, of course, in China had been well known because people live in there. But from outside world, like in the Western worlds, like in the US or Sweden, those stories of a giant bear or a black white bear may actually at the time was a complete unknown. But when the stories about this mysteriously this unusual type of bear reached out in the West, people speculated this was just only like another fable stories. But when it turns out they were real, of course, there were many expeditions that tried to go this far to China to bring back some of the giant pandas. But many people who went there never even came back because they died. I mean, this was like back in the early 1900s when giant pandas, but now giant pandas are recognized as an official species and all. Oh, my game, guy. So it's a hazard. It is. I mean, considering how many species of animals that we have, like say the platypus. The platypus was also considered at one point a cryptid or even just a made-up fable animal. But when the first carcasses or the first remains of an actual platypus was discovered, it was proven that it would exist. And the same thing is for the giant squid. Despite that, we only have found washed up remains of a giant squid, but never seen an actual alive. But that was until like in early 2000s when Japanese drilling was able to capture on the camera. So I mean, and even to this day, we discover new species of animals both in land and the ocean. Like especially in the Amazon, including in the rainforest in Asia, Indonesia. That is the other places that we have found new species of plants, insects, mammals, reptile, amphibians, all kinds of new species that we hadn't even thought was even possible. Like back in the early 2004 or 2005, I remember reading this article of new species of animals like frogs and plants just from Borneo. And one of the animals that they were had on was a mammal of the system called tree kangaroo. And before that, I only knew about those kangaroos that lived in Australia. But when I saw tree kangaroo, I was like, what? Since when did kangaroos be able to climb in trees? Because in the picture, it doesn't even match and in the description as a kangaroo. But it's just proving like that. And not only that, we have discovered species that we thought would have been extinct for decades, perhaps even a part of a century or more. Some actually have been was declared extinct. Let's say there was one species that had been last time was seen spotted, let's say early 1930s. And then after that, this last one was the 1930s. It had to be going for a number of years until it could be officially declared as extinct. So if no one has seen that for another those years, it will eventually be declared extinct. Maybe after if it is 10 or 20 years. So after being declared extinct, say in the 1950s, and then sometimes maybe from 1950s, maybe it's the 1970s or 1980s, boom, discovery of a species, at least a few members, that was thought to be extinct and is still thriving, just in a new location or something. There was like there was one species on Hawaii, a bird that was thought to have gone extinct. By a random chance, they found it still thriving, and now they had gone so much effort to maintain species from not going extinct again, or at least permanently. So it is just that we had to be cautious. But like I said, we discover new species of animals around us in our environment every single day. Some might have been complete new, some might actually be species that had been gone extinct, but just or we thought was gone forget forever and returned. Like the coelacanth, this old fish that we found. That one was also supposed thought to be gone extinct since it by the end of the dinosaurs. But it somehow had survived. Or uh, what's called the horseshoe crab, also thought to be is
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I know about that. I know about horseshoe crabs.
yeah, and they are harmless. They're harmless. They may look creepy, but they are complete harmless. And they are that species is 500 million years old and hasn't even changed much since.
Athena, are you asking about what's on the screen next to me in Swedish? It's Pixel Tap, just for the record.
She's yeah, she isn't even there anymore.
Uh,
She hasn't even been there for a while. Yeah, so considering that the horseshoe crab is one of the oldest species on the planet, that I mean, considering that, so okay, like this, the first, like the whales, they're the very first ancestor of the whales lived on land like a four-legged creature, like it's almost like the same size of a dog or something. And now, one of the biggest animals in the ocean. So I'm going to say, okay, how about this? Even though this is not realistically possible, but let's say from the assume that this say there are some an insulated group of survivors of say the Neanderthals even today. We have would have assumed that they had gone extinct as a species 40 to 50,000 years ago, and now there's then suddenly we discovered small pockets of survivors of the Neanderthals in the Siberia and all, and they have been learned to avoiding humans after, well, I mean, that would have been a complete, that would have been a complete surprise that that happened. But today, it's not like a realistically possible for that. And getting guys back. Gaming guy, do you know what a horseshoe crab is?
What was that the first question you asked when I came back?
I was really curious if you heard
This
about
is
it.
this is the question that I need to know the answer to.
I see you got your
uh,
microphone fixed.
That's what I was doing. I got kicked
oh,
out and I spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out what the hell was happening with my mic. After I realized I was kicked out.
yeah. I mean, that's good to hear at least. But as for my question, it's a strange crab. You look like those crab we're expecting like those from the beaches. But of all the crabs in the world, there's one that I think is very unique and very interesting, and that is the coconut crab. I mean, that is the only crab that is like 3 feet big, and it's one of the biggest crabs on the planet. And it's also the only one that can literally climb in a palm tree and can rip open a coconut with its own claws. But the biggest crab, it had to be a Japanese crab. If its legs is stretched out,
The
it would
Japanese
have been,
spider crab.
yeah, that one. That would have been, I think, close to from 6 to 7 feet wide if it stretched it out completely. It is one of the biggest on the planet.
Oh,
And it lives,
oh,
and I
Swish.
believe that,
Here's the next picture. Here's the picture I went back to coloring.
hmm, that's pretty cool.
That's the Phoenix Wings train that I made on uh, uh, the playground.
Hmm. Ay. Oh boy, oh boy, boy.
save that. Try and do a little bit more. Let's see if we try to do a little bit more of a little bit of another one.
I have been actually, I have been working on this script for a new story for someone had asked me. Um, just a while back, and so far it's 3 pages of the text. I actually started doing new technique. I'm using a Word document. If there's only one picture that I use in a story repeatedly over and over, then I use a Word document, typing the text in several sections, and afterwards copy that and put it in a video. It saves a lot more time on that. It's a slowly process. And the one I was working for, it's about Cinnamon Sun with Pinkie Pie when she is in her alicorn form, based on the chaos magic. It's interesting. And Cinnamon Sun is actually a fan made character, and he's actually even one of my subscribers for the past few years. And he were actually in my stream yesterday in the comments for the first time. So that's pretty cool.
Wait, who?
A guy named Cinnamon Sun, who is one of my subscribers.
Who was in the comments now?
His name is Cinnamon Sun.
Oh.
Yeah. He actually, I did made one story about his OC with Pinkie when he was as humans. And that was the first story that when he commented that, he thought it was a very good story and asked for more. And so far it has happened. I did actually make one story that even Dash is one of his favorite bronies, Scribbler Production. I made a story based on her OC with a character named Preverb or Perv, of how you pronounce it. And I actually got a comment from her personally. And she said that she and her boyfriend that was based on that OC had broken up before the time. And I wasn't even aware of that. So I asked her back in response if she wanted me to remove the story, unless it made her feel uncomfortable. But she never responded back from that. So I let it to stay there. It's not often I get a response from any comments from other bigger Brony communities members. I mean, it's not like I try to make them feel uncomfortable or anything. I had done stories based on from the Fespio and his now wife, Midnight Sonata. Let's see, Firebrand with his wife, Aromau, and who else? There's probably like a few more, but I can't even remember because how many stories I have. It's not simple to remember all of them. This strange is that most of the stories that I made up is based on real people's OC and actually were married in real life. Though Midnight Sonata, it's a bit different since in the story she's just a normal pony, but when she appears in the videos now between happens appearing in some other people's stories, other videos, she's actually like more like a undead zombie. She can literally removing her own or her legs sort of without even feel pain. But I never put that in my story. But that was way before I even knew about it. But as it is, I mean, I remember the time when, like, say, when like like Deanna asked me to do a story based on hers with Cody's OC when she was still dating Roy. Even though, I mean, even if I had told Roy about it, he wouldn't even take much of an offense to that. It was just a story. It's not like it wasn't like in her way to declare her love for Cody. Even though she did say that she did like Cody a lot, that she had a crush on him and on me. So I'm like, okay, okay. I don't understand why though. I mean, first was Deanna. Then we had Crystal, and who started falling in love with me. I was like, what? What am I, a freaking chick magnet? Though, there is the one time that wasn't even that long ago. I think what could have been like last year, or maybe it's early this year. I think it was early this year when one small thing happened. I think, yeah, I did tell this to Malachi, the game guy on Discord, on the group chat we are. This there was this one of my viewers comment to me, said that he liked my stories, and it's on point. They weren't even that long ago after she started saying that she had a crush on me. But the small problem was she was not even that old. Like, she was like, if I remember, she was like in the fourth or fifth grade. I mean, like, she was like 10 or 11 years old. And I was like, I wasn't even aware that she was even that old. I mean, I was like, what? Seriously? I said, but I did mention that in some comments later that I was overtaken. And she eventually moved on. She thought maybe that she was had a crush on another boy in her class, which was okay because if it was just a simple crush, okay, misunderstanding, there's not a complete understanding that was just a simple crush or something like that. Okay, move on. But that boy was not interested in her. But then she found a new boy that she was had a crush on, and turns out she asked me, well, I gave her a simple advice on what she should try to do. Just be honest, like telling him how she feels for him, even if it is a chance of being rejected. That is a part of the how romance sometimes works. Sometimes if you don't respond back to as much as the feeling is mutual, or sometimes the feeling can be not the same. So she asked him, or told him, and she was told me then that this boy literally said the same thing, that he had feelings for her, and sometimes that they were now started, but I don't know if they start dating right away. But when she told me at first that she had feelings for me, well, it's a crush on me.
Yes.
If I was a young
So basically, what happened? Her mom found out about it, and she said that's not going to happen because due to the fact that it's not acceptable for her, and she thought that was just a simple crush. That was just something that's serious. So, and she was sad about it. I tried to cheer her up, just saying, maybe just try to find someone who is better in your own age range. And eventually she did. But then here's the thing that was, even I was quite surprised that it happened. She told me that despite she had confessed her feelings for the second boy that she had feelings for, she went back to saying that she was in love with me and was still thinking about me as her crush. And she then said that even though she knows that I was dating Fine Artist already, but she went as so far to saying that she was a friend to Fine Artist and that she was lying to me the whole time and I should leave Fine Artist and be with her instead. And I was like, what? What? So yeah, I was I was dumbfounded. I mean, I was so I was even angry. I mean, you may think you simply want to go get mad or furious beyond that. But was I? Not exactly. I wasn't like in shock. But the only thing I did screenshot that to her, to Fine Artist, and she told me that she didn't know this girl. So I just simply ignored those comments from this girl because going it so far, it was not okay in my opinion. Saying that, saying it so much so far that Fine Goddess was lying to me the whole time. Why would she end up in doing that? So I just simply ignored this girl because blaming me for that is because, okay, at first she was just having a simple crush on me. That's understandable. I mean, she liked my stories. It is understandable. But if going so far to lie or saying that my girlfriend is a liar and that she is not a fit for me to be with someone, it's one of the last things you should not do at all. Don't talk anything so bad about my girlfriend. I've been with her for 7 years and I know her. The same thing is for many of my friends, well, except for Malachite, the game guy, who may actually be dating anyone. They may have had not as much experience in romance, but they know at least that this is things that you don't talk about to other people's trying to break them up. Even if someone like say managed to lie, if someone like say managed to make me to break up with Five Artists in hope that I would start dating that person, I would like, well, if I had to break up with Five Artists, I would not even be in a relationship with anyone then. I may actually be single for a while. Because before I even met Files, I was in a relationship with some another girl, but before her, I was alone for about almost 8 years. So people shouldn't start asking me about, like, telling me that she isn't good for me. Because, first of all, what's your proof? What's your proof about her being lying to me, being bad to me, or talking behind my back? If you don't have anything that's like a prove it, provide proof on that, then don't speak about it. Because if you can't provide with any actual proof, how would I even know for the fact that you're telling me the truth? Even if I hadn't even known you for that long, even if it's only for about a couple of months, in a couple of weeks, How
And
would I
also,
trust a
where's your proof that you're a friend of hers?
exactly? Because I asked her. I asked Fine Artist of this girl was if she even know about this girl, but she said no. I don't even know her. So I don't even know. I
And I'm
mean,
guessing,
when we're
she was furious too.
uh, I assume at least I don't know for sure. I mean, considering that this girl was just in the beginning, she was just one of my many subscribers. Like maybe not subscribers, but she was one of my many viewers that leave a comment about my stories, which I really appreciated. I appreciate any comments about my stories and even some like that, or even requests on the stories that they want me to do. But when they're going as far to being saying, okay, if there was someone like say when Crystal, she admitted her have feelings for me. I told Five Yards about it, but she has nothing to be worrying about. She was even mad about it. I mean, it's just simply understandable that
Um,
a girl that develops feelings. It's understanding. But I don't even if there's someone do feel have feelings for me, I don't feel the same thing for to them since I'm overtaken. I have no reason to leave someone who has been together for nearly 10 years. It just so yeah. So people shouldn't be considered to be doing that.
You're,
And your dad is singing in the background. I didn't know your dad can sing in opera. but but yeah, people if you like my stories and that, sure, that's fine. But in a sense, don't try to break up with me with my girlfriend at all. I don't accept that at all. I may not sound angry or anything, which I am not, of course, but just don't go so far. I really don't accept that people are trying to break up with me and my girlfriend that's with such a long time. It's just not acceptable. I mean, okay, if any one of my viewers ask me for maybe romance tips, sure, I have no problem to share my tips for in how to be in a romance with someone, or even give them ideas or advice on how to confess to your that you then someone you have a crush on. I have no problem to share my knowledge, my advices to others about it. I mean, I really are willing to do so, but as long as they don't try to confess their feelings to me, because it won't work. Because I'm taken, and I will never change my mind opinion about it. No matter how the girl is, she is taller than me, slim, like I even looks like a model. It wouldn't even change. Even though my and even like some people say, yeah, you should probably be with someone who's small, not small, but skinny, slim. Yeah, people are like, if someone like say that to me, I would like, are you really so much? Are you really for just only for appearance? Personally, I don't even go for my appearance. Even though my girl is a bit chubby of herself, but does that affect me? Mm-mm.
I,
I go, I'm going for more. I'm going mostly for the mainly two things. Well, actually, only one main reason. That is the personality, not the appearance. I wouldn't even care if she was even shorter than me, taller than me. or anything. So I don't even really care about that. As long as who she is, that's all I want to ask. Whew.
69. Swedish, have you by any chance heard of a blueberry hermit crab?
Nope, never heard
I'm
of.
getting rid of this 69.
Okay, hold on a moment. I can. Also, I can hear fuzzing in the background.
I don't care. I got the microphone to work. I know it's from my end. I don't fucking care. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Could be worse. At least it's not too annoying.
Well, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't even hear any.
Oh, and
Do you guys
actually, I
wanna
think
play-
it's coming from your end.
Whose?
Swedish. I think it's from yours, Swedish.
Really? I don't know this. Well, you guys want to play some Hangman?
Before we do, I am gonna show this to you like real quick. There it is, right there. This practically is a blueberry hermit crab.
Huh.
It's got a nice like purple coloration to it.
Dude, can you show that not the Japanese spider crab, so the people know how they look like, so they know which is the biggest in the world. Trust me, people, it's pretty big. If you compare to those normal, okay, here it is. This is the Japanese spider crab. It's one of the biggest in the world, and it doesn't even like dangerous anything. Not like toxic or venomous.
Mm.
I don't know if you can actually eat it though. But Halloween crab. Really? Huh. Okay, that looks more like an AI man made.
Maybe, but that is an actual crab. Looks like it looks like Koval painted a new face.
Kind of.
What do we got here? Oh, are you kidding me? A purple vampire crab? What's he gonna do? Pinch my blood? What is he gonna do? Pinch my blood?
Oh man, that's just.
Oh my goodness, the face on this one. Just look at that face.
Looks better than Cooties.
And just for the heck of it, what was it again? Oh, oh yes. The purest gem of all tarantulas. Swedish.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
It's just so colorful.
Well, good thing I'm not sure that if I got this because she
Oh.
is not a fan of spiders.
I will tell you this, Swish. This guy John 3800, he has lots of tarantulas. He even had a leopard gecko, but he also had true spiders. And I'm going to show you one that that really scares me whenever he opens up the container he has it in, because it is a venomous one.
All right.
He had one of these in his collection.
Hmm.
That is the six-eyed sand spider,
Hmm.
and it is a potent one.
Are you guys looking forward to the new Legend of Aang movie?
He, I'm honestly not sure, but he also had one of these in his collection. And the first time he actually featured in a Fiendville was actually in Fiendville 130, Part 2. He had one of these, a Brazilian wandering spider.
Hmm. Well, I don't even have any.
Thank
At least
goodness.
another.
But thankfully for me, he does not have a Sydney funnel web in his collection.
And for this, when I asked about the question about the Avatar laying, that's the Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender is the new movie that's coming out next year. They have actually released it. It's going to be released in the US on January 30, 2026. They have released the name, the actors for um for the characters. So far, it is Eric Nam for Aang, Dion Kwan for Toph, Jessica Matten with Katara, Roman Zaragoza for Sokka,
He is.
and so.
I was. Do you want to see a funny spider before we do Hangman?
Oh, that is a weird spider. Looks like a.
This, if you're about to say alien, then you are partially right with its name. It is the alien butt spider.
I wouldn't say that. I was about to say uh, human skull.
Well, I just told you what its name is. The alien butt spider.
Hmm. And and this Avatar movie, it has only been known there's going to know someone named Dave Bautista is going to be the villain, but exactly what name of the character hasn't even been known yet. The movie is set to be released until next year, and I'm looking forward. And if some of my viewers may not know about this, but this movie isn't. It's actually the characters won't be the same age as when the series ended. This is it. This movie isn't still about the original Team Avatar with Aang and Katara and Sokka, but it is set to take place years later, when they're in their in their 20s at least, early to mid 20s. But Sokka, or at least Zuko, I have no idea if he is gonna actually no, he's gonna be in it, but I wonder what's gonna be in that movie. I'm doing curious, at least one thing. If Boomy, Kaya, and even Tenzin is gonna be in it, or at least one of them. Who knows? And Devon John. I mean, they're not as worse as the Huntsman Spider. Hmm.
I mean, look at this one.
Hmm. I looking
This
gay.
this is a red-legged golden orb weaver spider. And if anyone asks if I have a favorite, I do like the orb weavers, but if I had to choose out of any green type colored spiders, I would honestly have to go with this one.
Well, the one that you showed before, it kind of reminded me of walking stick.
Well, this is my favorite of the green colored spiders. This is the green lynx spider.
Hmm. Well,
Hmm. If I had to pick a spider that Game Guy could be, and no offense to this Game Guy if you're arachnophobic, but I honestly uh would have to say the golden silk orb weaver.
I can see myself as a Black Widow.
Let me see if I can find one of these. Uh, It, it is practically like the red-legged one that I showed a little bit ago, but that is what these golden silk weavers look like in the picture. I do like the patterns on their legs. Hmm. Uh,
Well, it seems that the brothers, or at least that one of the twin brothers, is not showing in. He said that he would be, but seems it was his day off today, so
hmm.
ooh, ooh, whoa, cold cola.
Yeah.
Soda armor.
That's Bi Armor,
Oh,
and that's the flavor.
black blackout berry.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
blackout berry. Is that like an actual berry?
It's just what they said because probably because of the coloration of the wrapping paper of the bottle.
Hmm. Blackout. No, it doesn't. It says it is a sports drink. I haven't tried that though. Have you guys ever tried Prime?
Mm, not really.
I haven't. I wonder if that drink is. Let's see. Excuse here. There is one energy drink called Wolverine. It's pretty good. So, who want to go first with this?
Mhm.
Game guy, do you want to keep the change the name or should I do it?
What?
I will ask if you want me to change the name or each letter, or if you want it. But Since I will do it, I'll get him. So who go first?
Mm,
Malika can go first.
Okay, let's go with an O. I was honestly going to let you go first, but
1-0. It's your turn, Game Guy.
Brother, I'm thinking. I have 26 options here.
25 at the moment.
Unless we would go
Okay,
for
well,
the.
whatever.
Well, I can probably do next time. I probably can do is probably next time I can do in Russian alphabet
No.
because that would be problem because you have to pronounce the letter and
Oh.
it is 33 letters, not 26.
I'm gonna go R.
Let's see. Scares. Oh, okay. Be glad that we don't use the Japanese line alphabet because that's 46 letters. You say R?
Yes.
Boy. Whoops. It's here. Three R's.
Okay,
Oy.
seriously, that static is starting to annoy me.
What?
The static from someone's end is starting to bug me.
Well, it's not from my end though. I don't think so. Let's see. I can check the audio from my end, see if there's any. Well, it might work now, but see. Browser not support background noise removal. Seriously? Wait. This? Nope. Work. Well, Malachite, is your next? Oh, seems he is not
T.
entering. He's a oh boy. Let's see here. You say letter T in this quiz puzzle. Oh boy, that's gonna take a while. Here. Ah, why the heck did I put this? I'm taking it so much easier. Hmm. So, how have you guys been doing otherwise? Personally, I haven't done much. I was able to take the. I actually went. I left my apartment for the first time in days. Mostly due to the fact that when I was sick with a cold, I needed just didn't want to one go out, get more sick from the cold, and I didn't. When I was sicker, I was had this really bad chills over and over, and it's one of the worst things about having a cold. But now I was I just left the apartment for just to throw some trash and just maybe just go to a small convenience store nearby, just buy something to drink and all that. Just and also same time get a little fresh air for first time in a few days. Since ever since ever since the last week when I was with my sister and for for the weekend, even though I only stepped over for just one night, that was like the first time we spent time together in over a year. But even though that their first night, her youngest son had 100-degree fever, and even though after I went home, even she went sick, turned sick, and even her kids as well. But I believe it was a few days ago when she was in the hospital because she was so weak that she passed out. She had been sick lately, a long time now. Well, for at least a little while. Most of her kids as well, but mostly it could have been mostly the pollen season, something like that. So it's not like too unusual. But her oldest son, he has been a lot sneezing a lot, and including in the winter, they first believed that could have been a pollen, but pollen allergy cannot cannot happen to most people during the winter. I mean, if the ground is covered in snow, you can't get any pollen from the grass, and since no trees and flowers are even growing and blooming in the winter, so there's no reason for you to get pollen allergy in the winter season. Game guy, it's your turn. It's 4 T's. So yeah, so
I'm gonna go with N.
so at least her kids are now getting better from but now she is just getting a little bit. She needs to relax much more, which makes perfect sense. 1N. Even though my parents believe that is where I get my cold from. And you want to know something funny? It's ever since my parents had even talked to my sister directly, face to face, in over a year. They they didn't want to do that anymore. My brother has a few times, but he don't even text her or call her much. But he actually ran into her when she was in a hospital because he ended up in hospital too. Not because he's been sick or anything, but the tendon that is in his ankle was torn or is injured for some reason. So now he has one of his feet in a cast. And for how long? I have no idea. So that was an accident for him. That means no work for him for a while.
Let's go with an H.
Two H. Oh, wait. I missed one. 3H. Yeah, so next time I will be able to see my sister. What might not be for a while until she is getting much better from her cold and all. And yeah, it's especially during this season of the year. If you really have a cold, flu, pollen allergy, it's not a good combination. I never had pollen allergy, even though I can get a bit sniffed nose during the springtime otherwise, but not much any serious. Asthma is something that I had many years ago. Not anymore, luckily. But it doesn't mean that it can come back though. Mr. Grey Banana.
I thought it was Game Guy's turn. I said H.
Yeah, I was talking about him.
I'm going with S.
You go with S. Okay, this is gonna. What's this here? Only one S. This is a movie I actually seen. It's a interesting movie.
I will say K.
Use a K.
Forks.
Whoops. Um. Oh wait, I think better this. Whoops. Oh, hey, you said K. Okay. Forgot that one. But two Ks.
Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Yep, it is. I actually heard that at least one of the movies, Star Trek, William Shatner and George Takei, the one who played Sulu, had this long-standing feud, and that George tried to convince Shatner to appear in this movie by increasing his pay. And there was one movie that even Shatner doesn't even want to be in, so but he eventually did.
Hmm. Are you? I know. Where is your? Uh, there you are.
Want me to put another puzzle, or do you have your own on the way? Hmm. You know what? I can start with W. Just a bit of fun of it.
And there are no W's.
I'm gonna go with I.
There are two of them.
Isaac K.
No K. I wonder if Game Guy's thinking.
Probably like, I don't know, probably about Princess Peach and Princess Daisy.
Shut. Shut. Shut it. Anyway, let's see. You can't tell it, but my eyes are narrowed in your direction, Swedish. I'll go on with O.
Oh, maybe it's not Peter Dempsey. Maybe it's, I don't know, Rosalina and Bowsette.
There are two O's.
I say N.
Friends. I will also mention it is a creature native to Australia.
Yeah, I don't know that is. But I suspect it's a spider. But yeah, I don't know.
Mm, it's not a spider.
All right then. Then it might be. I don't know. Marsupial, like those koala species, koala.
I was just almost about to say I have no idea what type of creature it is, and I don't know. But
Smart ass.
Cody Cody helped me out quite a lot.
Well, this is game guy's turn, so I think.
Mhm.
Just put the A at the end.
The what?
I said A. I didn't know you were deaf and needed me to sound like this. It is extremely annoying, slightly obnoxious, incredibly distracting voice. That's probably
I say,
making you very annoyed and
Okay,
upset you
and
didn't
okay,
listen before.
okay,
and
okay.
I
You don't
say,
need to sound like Bowser kicked your ass 100 times.
and I say letter L.
No, that's don't you start.
Excuse me. Oof. Too much coke.
There's only one letter to go with. I'm going with D.
He's a D.
It's in 3Ds.
I say U.
Wrong answer. Back to game guy.
That is going to drive me nuts. I'm gonna go with S.
What letter did you say?
He said
Or
S.
oof, you say S.
Put it before the A.
Hmm. You know what? I say T. Salute.
There's no T.
Ah, damn it. Really? Uh, you know, I actually have passed my 2 hour mark, apparently. The one that's how the time I have left on StreamYard is. uh, but it doesn't automatically turns off itself, so I can go on for a bit longer. We can probably do maybe one more Hangman, and then probably that's the end of the stream. Do you want to play some Millionaire afterwards?
Mm,
I mean,
that would be up
if
to game. That would be up to Game Guy since he hasn't seen
Uh,
the new questions yet.
well, guess who's streaming later? See, this is the problem with these streams, dude. One of them. The other them with Triforce, he streams on the days that you'd want to do Millionaire.
Can he schedule streams for days Steve Swedish ain't on?
I mean, dude, it is a Monday, and I
It's
normally
not
don't
my fault that
stream.
I found him. Okay, let's talk about this. It's not my fault that I found him after I found Swedish. And it's not my fault that he just so happens to stream on Friday and Saturday. And also Monday, which Swedish doesn't usually stream on.
Just tell him you're calling in sick.
That's not how that works. I would still mod for him even if I was sick.
Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, order, and families.
I know you're upset, but don't take it out on him. You don't even know the guy.
Nope.
You do this.
Is it my turn?
You were the one that said T, so it's actually Game Guy's turn. Mr. Game Tendo Coconut.
Hey, how many pages of the Hangman do I have?
I didn't even know it was my turn. What was the last letter we chose? What was it? T?
It was the T.
Oh my god. With done salute. Oh, you already know. I'll go with E.
There were two of those.
Dang it, I can't even use that letter. It's Haken. Man. Oh, that's just a bummer. Oh, man. Let's see here. It makes no sense. And T taken. I'll say R.
There's two of those.
It's not my
Game
turn, though.
guy.
I'm gonna go with P.
You say P. Hmm. Splendid. It's one of the words. You know what? I say C. Playing some Hangman is always fun. Splendid and Scorpion. But the other word, I have to know what that is.
Back to game guy.
I'm just gonna go with F.
There's no F.
What letter did he say?
I believe he said F.
Where to put F in this one? Let's put it there instead. You know what? I said B. Have you guys ever heard of the channel called Uploads of Fun?
Mm-mm.
No, I'm gonna go with M.
And solve it.
Splendid Marbled Scorpion. I think that's how that's supposed to be pronounced. You don't usually see a D at the end of marble.
And that is what this scorpion looks like.
Wow.
It is an Australian scorpion, just for the record.
Wow. Good luck. Good for us. We don't have any scorpions in my country. It's they wouldn't even
Oh
survive the
my
winter.
word.
And as a reference, I want to ask about the Uploads of Funds channel. It's about the family that lives in Cleveland. A couple, their two teenage sons. They're making all kinds of shenanigans for their. They actually did announce they're going to making a movie. They have been approached by this major movie production company to making a movie about their channel. But what kind of movie? No idea. When I mentioned the Five Artist, she was like, "Wait, what? A movie about what?" I was like, "I had no idea." It's surprising though. We can probably do this short. Hey man, this one I have put until we decide to end the stream.
I'll let Game Guy start this time.
Since this will be the last stream I do for a while, since
Alright, let's start things and start things right. I'm gonna go with L.
you say L. Oh boy. Let's go see here. One L. Since
I'll go with the E.
you said D or E?
E.
E. Since I had less than about 2 hours left of StreamYard's free plan, and I had literally passed that limit of the time I had left. First time I heard when I thought that after you passing that limit, it would automatically shut down. The stream would end of itself after you surpass that. But have it though? No, it doesn't even work that way. Only one E. Every time when I have passed the limit a few times, it mentioned on the StreamYard, or at least on my email at the bend, they send it until it's not like a warning or anything, most like just but mention that I am like one of the 5% of users that passing the free plan it is meant. It doesn't even affect them until wherever it resets. So it's nothing like there's been much affecting it.
By the way, I'm gonna go with D.
Okay, so D. And next stream resets on the StreamYard. It's next this Sunday actually on the 11th. You said D. Starting no D's.
Let's try the A.
You said A. Two A's.
I'm gonna go with M.
You said say what?
I said M.
You said M. No M's.
Damn, really? There would be. Oh.
Any S's?
You said S. Only one S.
I'm gonna go with R.
You say R. No R's.
Is there an O?
You say O. Only one O.
I'm gonna go with T.
Use a T. Wow, that's just in case. No T's.
N?
Use an N.
Yes, 14th letter.
One N.
Not capable.
I'm gonna go with G.
Person elected.
Use a G. Only one G.
He said G and that's a J.
Whoops. Sorry. Oh.
and I'll at least say the J, just to get that out of the way.
Game guys, it's your turn.
I'm gonna go with K.
He said K. One K.
This is getting to me. Is there a C?
You said C. One C.
Jake Clayson.
You say Clay?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. It's not Y. Your next game guy.
P.
You said P. Nope. No P.
W.
W. Yep, it is.
Jake Clausen.
Yeah. He's from the SWAT Cats,
I don't
the
even
Radical
know who
Squadron.
that's from.
That's SWAT Cat for SWAT Cats.
Yeah, I've
the
never
cartoon
watched
series.
that.
I think that was the last Hangman for this time, though. It is in the industry since nearly for 3 hours. Probably should end it here, anyways. So that means no Millionaire afterwards.
If Game Guy's up for any, because I mean I showed you the 4 quizzes, but he has yet to do them.
But that's it.
I cannot. I literally can't.
Well, when is his streaming though? Is it in an hour?
It's gonna be at 6:30. I gotta be prepared. He's gonna do 2 streams, so I gotta mentally prepare for both.
All right. So maybe next
I
time.
gotta make sure this thing's plugged in, and stuff. I gotta say hi to everyone else. I gotta say bye to Malachite, even though he didn't let me. Anyway,
Well,
I'll see you. We will see you all next time, and let's not forget to thank our host. Dear Christ. Melkarn Jadot Patah, the Diablo. Who could ever forget such a great name? I mean, really.
yeah, that is a part of funny part of this when we're doing. We never know what letters in the order to give the names. They are just great. But everyone, that's what has been fun though. And see you next time, what will be more like next week. So until then, this is Switch Double signing off. Bye.